my consulting business is not strictly IT. Like, it's not like supporting enterprise businesses. It was, like I said, working with different audio equipment manufacturers, and teaching people how to use this gear and different stuff like that. But all of my tech background came into play, because as I'm running my business, I gotta run my websites. I gotta manage the back end of. I got like 3 or 4 membership sites, so I got to do the LMS, I got to set that up, I got to do identity management there, I got to do the SSL. So all the stuff that I know was being used in my business, it just wasn't like strictly IT, but the background of it was still IT stuff. So because I know a lot of times people will say follow your passion, but I've this is a little bit of a tangent, but as somebody who was able to build a business off of something that I really enjoy doing, sometimes you don't think about the fact that when something you love so much is your job and the way that you make a living, sometimes it can take a little bit of the joy out of it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, well, let me add another stream of income on top of this stuff, so that it's not just that. So then I can get back to, having fun and doing stuff with the music and things like that, and letting it do what it does. And then, I'm still passionate about IT, learning, security, how things work, how to fix things, different stuff like that. So it's like, for me, it's a challenge to kind of take a job after being, self-employed for so long. So I end up applying for like basically like a tier 2 help desk position. Of course, for me, it's like people are like, why would you do that? Yeah. For me, it was twofold. For one, it's like I feel like that in that type of position, you can really learn a lot about a company, the different departments, how things work, how things operate, all that different stuff. So you can kind of see where you want to go, where you want to fit in. I knew I can do the job. I knew it would be low stress. You know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff. And then two, to be honest, man, like I really wanted to see if I even wanted to have a job again. You know what I'm saying? But fast forward, that was February 2020. March 2020, everything shut down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm back at home, and so like a lot of people were having a hard time adjusting to working from home and stuff like that. For me, I'm like, I prefer it. That's my preferred method of working. So I was cool. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of where I'm at now. And so I'm just I started the website just to kind of document my journey, document the stuff that I'm learning, and plus, it's, like I said, for me, it's just fun to try to just challenge myself and see where I can go. Like I said, after stepping away from the enterprise side of IT, but even though I still kept, my skills sharp in actually running my business and maintaining the IT of that. So just kind of seeing how stuff translates, seeing what I want to do. And yes, running into guys like you and Professor Black Ops and DJX Alpha and all these people, man, it's amazing, because back when I first started, I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me out there teaching and sharing and doing stuff like that. Now it's like so many people that look like us that are doing this, and I think it's important to, and I know people be like, it doesn't matter, but it does. Like, for the people who say it doesn't matter are probably the people that are used to seeing people that look like them in those positions. They're not really used to walking into a building and being one of 2 or one of 3, or walking into a boardroom and being the only one, or walking in being the only one in a whole entire complex, or being one of 5. Like, if you're not used to that, then of course it doesn't, you think it wouldn't matter. But for cats like us that are used to being in that situation, it's like it's important. So it's like, maybe I can share something. I'm 39 years old, so maybe people feeling like, oh, I'm too old to switch or do this, do that. So I'm like, let me document how I'm navigating this as a 39-year-old tech head that has been self-employed for the last 8 years. Like, because for some employers, they look at that like, well, I don't know. What I'm saying? I don't know if you can, I don't know if you want to be here. Like, I'm like, hey, I'm here. Like, I can do the job we talking about. Like, instead of realizing all the skills that you gain from having to be somebody who runs a business, all the skills that you can bring to an organization, for some employers that scares them off. So it's just kind of navigating that whole thing. And yeah, man, so I've just been trying to build it like that, and not trying to so much rely on the stuff that I built to kind of promote what I'm doing here. So it's just like, this is just really passion, man. Like, hey, I'm learning this, let me write about it. Hey, I'm trying to figure out Linux, let me figure this out. Hey, man, I failed here, or figured this out, or did this. And at the end of the day, like, it's fun. And for me,
Mm-hmm.
I like to do stuff that challenges me and that is fun and that is interesting.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I did it, man. So
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. That's super dope story, man. Super dope story, man. You know what I'm saying? We all have our, backgrounds and stuff that we went through, going through
yeah,
getting into this field and also, venturing out doing business owner type stuff. Cause I've done that as well.
yeah,
I started a small business. I was just trying to do websites and stuff like that at one
yeah,
point back in the day, but that didn't work out, you know what I'm saying? But nah, man, interesting background. I've talked about this in the past that sometimes you have to, I don't know, sometimes you end up having to take a step back, to get where you're trying to go, because
yeah,
like especially since the IT field kind of changes a lot, and new technologies coming into it. And I know you said you worked 7 years, a lot of stuff is still the same, but there is a lot of stuff that has been
oh yeah,
improved upon and stuff. So taking those help desk roles is
yeah.
something that can help you get back in the swing of things. So if you want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
expand on it, yeah.
yeah, definitely, man. It was definitely a strategic thing, and then also like you have to get to a point like for working for yourself for like 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
and going to get a job, you have to humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, well, I done made it to this level. How am I gonna go here and work here and do that? So it's just like it's a shift in mindset, and then it's like knowing what the help desk touches everything, or they see
Mm-hmm.
everything. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They may not configure everything, but they touch everything. They have to interact with all the departments. So you got to learn what goes to the security people. What do they have to
Mm-hmm.
deal with? What goes to the network people? What do they have to deal with? What goes to the programmers? All these different things. And for me, that was important, because I feel like that's a great way to learn what a company is about.
Yeah.
And even in between that time, excuse me, even in between that time, I actually applied for another and was offered another position on the networking team. But it was like, the offer, as somebody who has done that before, I'm in a position where I don't have to take any offer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome. You know what I'm saying? I can actually pick and choose. And I was like, well, the offer doesn't really make sense for what I know you're gonna have to do in this. So I'm gonna just chill until something comes along. But definitely, man, help desk is a great way. Even if you have previous experience, it's a great way to kind of learn a company and kind of
Mm-hmm.
see where you want to go.
Anybody could go in as a business owner, but you got that tech background. So
Yeah.
do you think that helped you? Because I know a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of, I try to tell people, like, as a business owner, you got to understand some technology. Even, if you don't have that background, you got to have some understanding. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
definitely. I mean, and I think for me, my business was built from my technical background. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, like I said, it is a tech business,
Okay.
where I mean, but it's not an IT business, if
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense. Like
That's what I mean.
so
Yeah.
so when I say I was working with audio equipment manufacturers, it was the same type of stuff. I would get products, I would learn the product, I would
Mm-hmm.
troubleshoot the product, I would consult on the products, I would help people fix products, I would teach people how to use products. So it's the same type of stuff.
Yeah.
It having that technical, the whole point of it was I was able to take complex things, break it down, and
Mm-hmm.
explain it to people, and was able to turn that into a business. And then on the back end, of course, the tech helps, because it's like I can manage my business. Like
Yeah.
if something happens with my server or my website or stuff like that, I understand what's going on. So,
Yeah.
even if I do have to hire some help or hire somebody to do something, like if it's a remote server or I'm renting a server from somebody, they can't just tell me anything, because I
Yeah.
know what's
Yeah.
going on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Things like that. Or, when it's when things come out and they say GDPR, you gotta privacy, you gotta update this, and understanding what that means and how to implement that into my website, because I'm managing people's identity and different things like that. And how
Mm-hmm.
to, if somebody sends me a request and say, hey, I need you to delete my stuff, understanding what that means and why you got to comply with that. So it definitely is a huge part of
Mm-hmm.
business. And I wouldn't have been able to even start the business if I didn't have the technical background, for me, because
Yeah.
my business is so technical.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very integral part of what I do.